The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different aspects to the Star Wars franchise that fans have never seen before on the big screen that will allow fans to look back at the prequels, the originals, and part of the sequels in a different light. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the more interesting sequel trilogy characters has got to be Kylo Ren, since he holds that mighty Skywalker blood and is in fact connected to the Skywalker bloodline, and it's really going to be very interesting to see exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize Kylo Ren as a character from start to finish of this movie. After all, the editor of the film, Marianne, has confirmed a couple of days ago that this movie really is a big movie, indicating and giving us a little hint that this could very well be the longest Star Wars film in film history. Now, what's really intriguing is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks and one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January of this year involved Adam Driver, Ian McDiarmid, and an unnamed actor portraying the Dark Acolyte. It's described that J.J. Abrams will be bringing a return of the Sith in the final installment of the Skywalker saga in two ways. Adam had many scenes with Ian McDiarmid during the third act, where additionally it's described that one of the concept art descriptions where Kylo is facing the Dark Acolyte that begins to fall down to the ground, where a stream of red energy is seen entering Kylo Ren. The red stream of energy is described to be the spirit of Sidious corrupting Kylo Ren's body, where it's described that this is how Kylo will become a Sith, temporarily and briefly fights Rey, where the spirit of Sidious takes over and Kylo becomes a Sith Lord. The scene is described and was dubbed as Kylo's Sith transition, where the scene is said to include a moment where Kylo loses all control of his body, fighting Rey, where Rey begins to remind Kylo of certain moments of his past, like his mother, that allows a shred of light to return, weakening the spirit of Sidious, where Kylo is able to gain control of his body somewhat again. It's described that Kylo, for a portion of the film, will become a Sith temporarily through the spirit of Sidious in Episode 9. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and how I feel about this. Now, first things first, there are going to be a lot of new aspects of Episode 9 that fans have never seen before on the big screen, and that is going to be made canon. Now, for the longest time, a lot of people have been wondering, is there an afterlife for Sith or Sith Lords, whatever have you, just like what Jedi actually go through, you know, when it comes to all the different Force ghosts and stuff like that. It seems like J.J. Abrams really is pushing that narrative, pushing that idea of basically the Sith being able to survive even after death, and that's exactly how Palpatine's role is going to be introduced in the third act. Now, let's go over to Kylo Ren. Now, Kylo Ren becoming a Sith Lord temporarily through the spirit of Sidious is a very interesting idea. Now, the fact that they are going to be doing this between the spirit of Sidious entering the body of Kylo Ren, where the whole entire sequence was dubbed as Kylo's Sith transition, where he fights Rey for a couple of minutes, give or take, as a Sith Lord through the power of the spirit of Sidious. Now, what's really intriguing about this is that the other way that they will be bringing a return of the Sith is through the Dark Acolyte and the Sith spirit of Palpatine being basically the power source of the Dark Acolyte. Now, what I like about this is that this seems like it's a new and different take on Kylo Ren becoming a Sith Lord. However, the only downfall is that it's just a temporary thing, right? It's just a temporary sequence in which Kylo will begin to become a Sith Lord and fight against Rey before Rey begins to remind him about his past, reminds him about his own mother, Leia, which brings back a little bit of light in him that weakens the spirit of Sidious, and that's exactly when he begins to take over his own body. Guys, I honestly like the sound of this. I think that this is definitely something that a lot of fans are going to enjoy on the big screen, as long as it's executed and done correctly. Again, things can always sound very odd and strange when it comes to words, but when it comes to watching things on the big screen, it can be done very well. Now, the thing here is this. I will say that when I first heard about Luke's Force projection before the movie came out, a lot of people, even when they heard about it, were very upset about it, and I will agree that even to the screen, it still didn't necessarily work for me. I feel like that should have been saved for episode 9, where Luke Skywalker pulled a big trick like that. But nonetheless, guys, like I have always said before in the past, that it's all a matter of execution. I think that this is going to work because it's something to do with Palpatine. It really does allow Kylo Ren to go through a certain challenge, and it also allows Rey to go through a certain challenge as well, which is, of course, trying to bring Kylo Ren back to the light side of the Force, and she reminds him of his mother. Again, this is great foreshadowing that we saw in The Last Jedi, where Kylo shows a bit of remorse, or I guess you could say a bit of struggle, you know, from destroying the Radish ship, and we can see that he has these feelings for his mother Leia still. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.